Hey guys, this is going to be a reconstruction of my 24.68 three-blind single from Salt Lake, Utah summer 2023. Overall, pretty happy to beat a over a year old PR. I think it was a little bit overdue. It's kind of a shame because it's such an average scramble, and I've messed up a lot of good scrambles over the past year or so, but I think it's finally good to get over this mental barrier. So anyways, let's get into the solve. I start off, lift off the cube cover, and the cube was in this orientation. My orientation is blue top, red front. It's pretty easy to find. By the way, if you want to scramble in your own orientation, you can follow the scramble in the description and scramble in X, Z away from your orientation. So moving on, I started to trace corners. I went from UFR buffer to here, 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 here. And then I noticed I'm hitting my buffer, but I'm not hitting the U sticker. So I know that means I have a twist. And looking up here, it's this piece. And I just memorized the U face sticker is facing me. That's all I need to memorize of the twist. So moving on, tracing from UF edges, going from here, 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 here. Again, I'm hitting my buffer, but I'm hitting the wrong side of the U sticker. And I know I've already hit 10 pieces, so it's impossible to have another cycle on the cube, so I know that must mean I have a twist or a flip. And the flipped edge is here. I noticed it during tracing. So that brings us into exec. Started out with UF, UB, and UL. That's a U prime setup into a U perm. Next up, I started with UF, LB, RF. And I do a wide L here to a 4 mover. My next alg is UF, DL, FD. I was gripping the cube like this. I'm not sure if this was me being smart or I was just using an alg, but I was already gripping the cube like this, and so I didn't have to regrip into this alg. I could just go straight into this case. Next up, I had UF, LF, UR, just a simple 8 mover. I do this for some reason. I don't know. It's just a weird habit I have. Don't judge me. And then lastly, I have UF, DB, DR. I should have broken into the flip here, but I'm just not comfortable enough to do that automatically. And so I didn't even think about breaking into the flip during this solve. I just did the last column and then did an alg for the flip. But I still did a cool alg here. It's pure 8 mover. Starts out with U prime R2 U, and then E Sean M2, and then U prime R2 U E Sean M2. And I think this really shows like how useful E Sean M2 is in blind solving, because like this M2 is like very difficult to do. But like if you do E Sean M2, like your ring finger is perfectly positioned to do this wide R. And you just do the next one. So yeah, E Sean M2 is pretty cool. And then yeah, I just flip these 2 edges here. Next, go into corners, starting off with UFR, DFR, LUB, using Graham's alg there. And then going UFR, BDL, RUB. And so I actually had a slight pause during this, after this alg, just because I wasn't sure if I get the interchange right. But what's cool about 3-style is once you know the algs, it's pretty easy to visualize where the pieces are, because you don't need to focus on orientation. You can just focus on where they are and just visualize the cycle. So I know with this right here, I have the U prime R prime setup, and then I have these 2 pieces here, which are U2 interchange away. So I know I was able to, I know I did the comm right, so I felt comfortable moving on to the next alg. So the next alg was UFR, BDR, FDL, just a D prime setup, D2 interchange. And lastly, just flip this piece. Yeah, so overall, pretty happy with the solve. It's 10 algs, no cycle breaks, so somewhat of a straightforward solve. Like I said, there were a few like nitpicks you could have with it. Like I did break into the flipped edge, or I had that slight pause during corners. But like if you're overly critical of your official solves, no matter what, like you're gonna find flaws in your solve. So it's just not really, I think, a healthy mindset to be that critical of your official solves. You just view it as, okay, that's something I need to work on, and just work on it and, try your best at the next competition. So yeah, anyways, those are some thoughts on my solve. Hopefully you found it useful or learned something. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys around.